Are you going to do it?
Well, it's live. Oh, it's facing the... There it is. Hi. My humongous zit. How can we do this and set it up for to do the...
You're just going to have to just lean it up against something.
That's not going to work. You're going to have to lean forward.
It's not.
You're going to have to lean forward because all I see is the bottom of your feet. Okay. All right, you have to lean forward. We're going to do a Sandwich and Some Lovin' podcast, but it's sideways, so I shouldn't probably do that because I don't think that is good. Okay. Oh, God, I look awful. Y'all, I had a humongous zit on my head today. It was awful. All right, honey, come on. It's really late. We got to do this.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm not going to be able to read all your comments because we have to do this podcast. I'll go back and read them later because we'll post it and everything.
This is what I have to deal with.
This is a mess. It's a mess.
This is what I have to deal with.
They gave us like 20-foot cords to record our podcast at home.
I mean, I can't work under these conditions.
I know. And then they gave us cords that were like this long. And so we were in each other's faces. We couldn't do that. So now we're doing the podcast with these really long cords in the comfort of Evans Estate, formerly known as Rasberry Manor.
We're in the studio.
This is our studio. We've been out to dinner with a lovely couple,
Wonderful
Jennifer
friends.
and, well, they're new friends. We just met them, which is fun as being a couple and making...
I talked over you. Who were they?
Jennifer and David?
Jennifer and Brad.
Jennifer and Brad. Jennifer and Brad. See, I just met him tonight. I met Jennifer once before, and Jennifer and Brad. But, you know, it's fun to make new couples friends together. Because I brought my friends into the relationship. He brought, like, 2 friends into the relationship.
Not true. I
true.
brought many, many dear friends that you've become very close friends with now. My
do
friend
nothing.
Bob.
Who lives in Missouri.
Well, he lives in Illinois. Very dear friend of mine.
He lives in Missouri. No, he lives outside of St. Louis.
He lives in Illinois, right across the river.
Oh.
Yeah. Shows you how well you...
Is that outside of St. Louis?
It shows you how well you've been paying
Is it
attention.
outside of St. Louis?
Yes. It's
Okay,
outside
well
of
then
St.
I thought it was Missouri because he lives outside of
My
St. Louis.
dear friend Valerie, who may be on right now.
Very sweet, and she toasted us at the wedding, toasted you, which I was happy about.
Yes.
But we don't really do anything with anybody. But
My friend Mackenzie. Mm-hmm. Many dear friends.
Hey, Miss Denise Howard. All right, so we're going to start recording the podcast.
We're not even recording anything.
We're going to, because we're going to do a Sandwich and Some Lovin'. So hopefully you have liked the Facebook page, A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. Alan was so sweet to set that up. He's very excited about our podcast. He's doing all the marketing for it because, you know, he's in marketing for luxury fabrics and furniture. And now a podcast and some loving. So we're trying to get
Podcast and some loving.
Podcast and some loving, and we're trying to get some good stuff there. And we're still, you know, finding our way, getting our sea legs with that.
Obviously.
But hopefully it'll get better over the weeks ahead. So anyway, I thought it'd be fun to Facebook Live it while we do it tonight. Or maybe turn it off and just make people listen to the podcast later.
I mean, what do the people want? Do they want us to leave this on, or do they want...
We'll leave it on, and y'all can stay as long as you want. But literally, it's 9:41.
Well, thank you there, Bradley Davis.
9:40.
First time I've ever seen Alan. He's very handsome. Hashtag just saying.
That's the one comment you're going to read out loud.
Hi, Karen. I don't know why. I was having technical difficulties. I don't know why.
Yeah, Michael, I think we might broadcast the whole episode live. I don't know. We'll try it once and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll try
I got to, Alan, it's so late. We just went out and met this new couple, Jennifer and Brad. Sorry, I called you David earlier. And this is our real heavy techno equipment. Let me see.
Michael said no, let us watch.
Okay, I'll let you watch. I don't care.
It's fine with us.
What am I doing here? I hope the battery's not dead. Okay. And so you can say okay, I think it's ready.
White Cheddar gave us this equipment.
And Don.
Engineer Don. ED.
Okay, so we're just going to start recording, and we're going to do this pretty quick because I got to go to bed. It's been a long day. All right, here we go.
What time is it anyway?
It's 9:41. You ready?
You're going to kick us off?
Yeah, you ready?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Don't be silly. Are you ready?
Yeah, ready.
Okay. Okay, test.
Test.
Okay, it's working. Okay, here we are. It's another fabulous edition, I hope so at least, of A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. I'm Kellie Rantberry Evans.
Hello, I'm Alan.
This is my husband, Alan Evans. And
That's how you wanted me to introduce myself.
Yes, that's great. That's perfect. And this is a Sandwich and Some Love, in our little podcast we started a couple months ago, and it's been so fun. And we appreciate everybody for listening in every week. We love hearing your comments. And this is actually the first episode we're doing. You're going to hear this later because the podcast uploads every Thursday morning, but we're doing it on Facebook Live, so it's kind of fun.
This is new. This is cool.
This might be a good way to...
fun.
Yeah, it might be a way to interact with people, but I think what happens, and you need to stop right now, is he's reading all the comments of people that people are saying things on Facebook Live.
Listen,
right?
I'm a multitasker. I can do more than think.
Can you read and talk to me at the same time?
Yes, absolutely I can.
I'll see. But the thing is it's really late, and we just went out to dinner with some new friends, Jennifer and Brad.
Very wonderful nice couple, very nice couple.
This is what I think is important in a relationship, because Alan and I, we came into this relationship, we met January of 2016, we were married in July 1st of 2017, and each of us came into the relationship with our own sets of friends. And let's just be honest, we've been hanging out a lot more with my friends.
Yeah.
We just because this is the way it worked out.
A lot of your friends are here in Dallas.
Right.
A lot of mine have moved away. Or,
right.
For whatever reason, we just hang out with your friends more, which is fine with me.
Yeah, because I have great friends,
you
right?
Have great friends. I love all your friends.
And all your friends that I've met and we've hung out as little as we have been great. But I think it's important for us to develop, new friends, too, as a couple. So that's been fun. So we went out to dinner tonight, had a couple of dirty martinis. I'm going to be honest about that. You had a couple of Manhattans. And so now here we are recording a podcast and some lovin'.
Yeah.
And you have no idea what we're talking about.
I have no idea. Usually I come to the show, the podcast,
content.
And I come with show content.
Because you're very invested.
Well, here's pulling back the kimono a little bit, or opening the kimono, pulling back the curtain. I usually bring the show content. And I think you just use your natural radio talent, just kind of fill in around the content.
That's not true. The last show you brought the
last
content.
3 or 4.
No, that's not true.
Okay, well, anyway, for this version, this episode, I got nothing. I have no idea.
Because you know why? Because I got something. Because I'm upset and I'm passionate and I just need to get this off my chest. First of all,
let's talk.
We started the week when I woke up Monday morning. I don't know why. The first thing, I'm so groggy. I need to get up and get a shower. But I'll tell you the funnest part of my mornings is my alarm goes off and I always hit snooze. And Alan rolls over and spoons me. And I love that so much. So I sit there while he's spooning me, or I lie there, and I think, I just don't want to get up. I'm just going to wait and get a shower. Just depending on what I have to do, I'll just wait and get a shower after the shower or whatever. So this Monday morning, that's what happened. I'm laying there spooning with Alan. It's so great. And it finally gets so late, I have to get up. And while I'm brushing my teeth, I turn on my cell phone just to kind of get headlines. And I subscribe to People Magazine, I think is one of the ones. A few of the gossip websites, just because part of my job on the Kid Craddock Morning Show is to do the gossip. Are you listening to me or are you reading comments?
Are
you listening to me?
Yes, I'm listening.
What have I just said?
Something about you get up early in the morning.
All right, he's listening.
No, when I spoon, a lot of times it's because I'm cold.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I like to spoon.
I like to spoon with you too, honey. I like being the little spoon.
Oh.
Anyway, so I looked at the phone, and sometimes it's just the headline, and you have to click to see the rest of the story. So it said, Chris Pratt and Anna Farris announced they are ... My first thought is they're expecting another baby because they have their little boy Jack, who's going to be turning 5 later this month. They've been so sweet talking about, Jack was born very prematurely. He's had a lot of, delayed setbacks, but all the little successes he has are so cute with this little boy. And I was just like, oh, they're going to have a second child. Then to click that link and to read that Anna Farris and Chris Pratt are getting divorced, I was so upset by that. And I don't know why I was so deeply affected by that, but I was. And it bothered me all morning. And I'm not joking, on the way into work, I'm driving to work and I'm praying for this couple to work it out, because to me, they're just good people. I feel like, maybe they're getting caught up in the celebrity and the fame, and who's to say? We've not ever been in that position. I don't know what it's like, but I'm reading now in hindsight that she's been very lonely because he's been traveling so much, and her, she does a sitcom, Mom, I think it's called. Is that a show called Mom or something? Anyway, she has a sitcom, and in LA and he travels all this time for work, and she's alone a lot of the times at home. And I just don't know if the pressures of success got to them or what, but I'm just so upset about their breakup, honey. And something else I found out about Anna Farris this week, and I really am praying for them. I want them to make it because I feel like, I've just been, from what I've gathered, they're a Christian couple. They have a lot of faith. They've done wonderful things for the troops, and I just love their support of the military. I just think they're just great people, and I'm very upset. So anyway, I'm going to keep praying for them, and I'm not even joking. I seriously am. But I found out, because of all the articles are coming out, that Anna Farris has a podcast.
Mm-hmm. You were telling me that.
And I told him this tonight at dinner, and it's called Unqualified. And basically it's her giving, she says, I give advice to people and I'm not qualified to do it, much like Love Letters to Kellie. The only reason I do Love Letters to Kellie is because Kid Craddock made me do it 20-something years ago. And I kicked and screamed the whole time.
Yeah, but now you got 20 years of experience.
Right, but the whole time I'm telling him, kid, I don't have a degree in counseling.
That was 20 years ago.
But I'm telling you, this is why I'm saying I was not qualified to give advice, but I did it anyway, and now here we go, 20 years later, I'm still giving advice with what qualifications, I don't know.
20 years experience.
Right. So anyway, I also found out that she's got a book coming out called Unqualified. It's about her relationship and her secrets to success, and Chris Pratt wrote the foreword to it. I'm just like, this is so heartbreaking on so many levels. And that book's coming out in October. Okay, here's another thing. See, I'm just like, I'm so into this. So Us Magazine, we met in January of 2016, right?
Kellie doesn't let Alan talk. Sonia
Because
Chappa.
I know, because I'm so upset about this. And you have,
okay.
What do you want to say about Chris Pratt and Anna Farris?
You keep going.
What do you want to say about Chris Pratt?
This is your setup. Keep going.
Do you want to say anything about Chris Pratt and Anna Farris? Are you upset about it?
Anna Farris, I don't know who she is.
She's an actress. She was in like the Halloween movie. She's really funny. She's got the big doe eyes and blonde hair.
Chris Pratt, he was in Jurassic World.
Yes, and he's so funny.
I followed him on Instagram for a while. He seems like a nice guy. The two of them didn't even know they were married. Is there a child involved?
Yes, Jack. I just
told
you.
Okay, this is a tragic situation if there's a child involved. If there is a child involved, yeah, this is very sad. But Anna Farris, I don't know her from Adam.
And this is what happens when I let him talk, because he doesn't know who I'm talking about.
Don't know her from Adam. Chris
so now
Pratt,
we're getting.
I do know Chris.
Now we're getting to the part where you can be involved.
Okay.
Because January of 2016, which is when Alan and I met, Us Magazine asked Anna Farris her tips for a successful relationship. Don't read ahead, because I know you can see the screen. So I'm going to go through her 5 tips for a successful relationship. And we'll see what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong, according to Anna Farris.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Who I don't know.
But I love her.
Okay.
And I'm invested.
Okay.
Number 1, and we just had, I would say, a little tiff about this yesterday.
Okay, hold on. Before you read these, am I supposed to respond to these?
Yes, I want you to respond, and we
This
talk
is just
about
her
it.
opinion.
This is her opinion, but we're going to discuss her 5 tips.
Okay.
They're her tips.
So,
And she's going through a legal separation, possibly a divorce. So that doesn't mean that she knows. She just said she's unqualified.
okay. So 5 tips from a woman that I have no idea who she is about marriage, and she's getting.
These are her tips and suggestions.
I got you.
Okay. Here's her number 1.
Right.
Don't tease. Even if it seems harmless, because that can be a rapidly increasing spiral. And then you're actually teasing people, and it gets to a really bad pattern. Now, we had a little thing in the kitchen yesterday, remember? And I was like, okay, you keep teasing me, and I don't know when you're teasing or not. And then he's automatically like, but I'm just teasing. Do you see? What do you think about that? What do you think about that? That's her number 1.
That's her number 1. Okay, a couple of things I can say about that. I'm a teaser. I like to tease. I like to joke around because I like getting reactions out of people. Because I know what kind of buttons to push to get a certain reaction out of you. And a lot of it's just done because I love you and it's fun.
You told me flat out, when I stop teasing, that's when you need to worry.
Yeah, if I don't tease, then there's probably a problem. Now, I have known people, and I do know people, that tease, and there's always a little bit of bite to it, or there's always a little bit of seriousness to it. I think there's a difference when you're teasing somebody and you're joking and just trying to get them to laugh versus when you're teasing because, you mean something a little bit deeper and maybe darker. Okay. And I think what she says, though, all kidding aside, don't tease even if it seems harmless, because that can be a rapidly increasing spiral. I think you do got to watch what you say to your partner, because that stuff does build over time, in my opinion, to where if your partner thinks there is some seriousness to it and they're kind of questioning those things, they can build resentment back towards you. That resentment builds up over time.
We've only been married not even 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And I know you love me, but sometimes if I'm in a bad mood, that's the thing. It's and for you too, it's if I know you're in a bad mood, but I keep teasing you, it only makes it worse, right? Or is your goal to tease me out of a bad mood?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of it is just, sometimes you're, something happened at work, or maybe you're not in a good mood. So I'll tease you just to try to make you laugh.
Yeah.
To me, teasing is just because it's funny or fun. But, say a guy came home from work every day and he always teased his wife about her cooking every single day. He had something snide to say and he thought it was a joke.
And whenever she gets upset, he just says, "Oh, I'm just kidding."
I'm just kidding. But it happens every day.
Right.
Okay. Over time, she's going to start to resent her husband, and eventually she's not going to want to cook him dinner anymore. And so there's a difference there. I think there's a fine line between, how much you can tease somebody and letting that resentment build up. That's just my opinion. But I think that's what she's kind of trying to say there.
She's saying don't tease at all.
I don't agree with that. I think a couple has to have fun and they have to laugh, and you tease me like I tease you.
You need to know how to read the room, though. You need to know when somebody's not really feeling it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Anna Farris's second tip for a successful relationship. Successful. I've had 2 martinis. Be kind and treat one another like you would to a friend. Truly be kind and supportive. Well, that's okay. There's no really discussion for that one. Just be nice.
Yeah, it's not earth-shattering news.
Treat like you would your friend. I think, okay, delving a little bit deeper into that, I think sometimes you treat people you love a little bit worse because you don't think they're going to go anywhere. And with friends, you're afraid, if I'm mean to them, they might leave me, so I have to be really nice to them all the time, maybe. I think if you're in love, the first time you really have a fight with the person you're dating with, I think there's a level of security there because you're not afraid to leave. Does that make sense?
Wow. Yeah, you're really getting...
I'm getting too deep with that.
Kind of deep there. I mean,
just be nice.
I don't disagree with you.
Let's not go deep. Let's just be nice. There's a level of security with someone that you're secure enough in the relationship that you can fight with them and not be afraid they're going to leave you.
Okay.
So maybe with relationships you're not quite sure of, you're nice all the time. So she's saying just be nice all the time?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Well, the way I see this one, to me, being the simple man, the simple-minded man.
You're not simple, baby. You're very complex.
Is it ever not okay to be kind and polite to someone that you love? Is it ever not okay to do that?
No, it's not.
It's always okay.
I'm sorry for every time I'm not.
Well, no, I'm not saying...
I've had 2 martinis. Just accept my apology.
Right, but I think it's always okay, whether it's your mother, your kids, somebody you love, your spouse, to be polite and be kind.
That's right.
That never goes out of style.
All right, number 3, Anna Farris, who from Chris Pratt is now legally separated and breaking my heart. Her 3rd tip for a successful relationship, as of a 1.5 years ago. I think if you're engaged, okay, this isn't nothing to do with keeping your relationship intact, but this is still a good point. I think if you're engaged and you have doubts, break off the engagement instead of getting married, even though it's embarrassing. That's a really great tip because I don't want to go too much because it's not fair, but there is probably an engagement I should have called off and it's not yours, baby. But you realize it's not the right thing moving forward, but you're too embarrassed because the invitations are in the mail. People have already flown in for the wedding. People have made plans and it's just very embarrassing. So in the long run, it's for the best. But, just recently, my mother, this lady in our church, her daughter was getting married. My mother went to a bridal shower and everything. She just got a card in the mail saying, everyone's getting your gifts back, so we regret to inform you that the engagement was called off. That's embarrassing, but think of all the time it saved, and the heartache it saved in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Let me comment on one thing, and then I'll comment on this number 3, because I think this is a really big point here. A lot of you are commenting about me not wearing my ring.
Oh.
The first thing I do...
See, that's what he's doing. He's not doing the podcast. He's reading your comments.
The first thing I do when I get home is I put on a T-shirt and gym shorts, and I take off all my jewelry, except I have my watch on.
I'm wearing my ring.
Yeah, you can't get your ring off.
That's because my fingers are swollen.
I got a gigantic, heavy David Yurman wedding band, men's wedding band. So when I get home, I take it off.
It's a big one. And mine is big too, but I can't get the damn thing off.
But I don't leave the house without it. So everybody...
Quit reading the comments. Do the podcast. Don't worry about that.
It's all good. Okay.
He's very much
married. I'm still married as far as I know. Okay, so number 3. This is a big one, and this is serious. So if you think you're engaged and you have doubts... break off the engagement. The point you were saying about being embarrassed, that embarrassment won't compare to the heartache, the things you'll go through if you stay married to somebody that you've always had doubts about, and then the marriage has to end at some point.
I can't tell you how, I don't know what the word to describe, how I felt knowing I was going down the aisle to get married to you with complete peace. I watch these shows like 4 Weddings. I'm like, for some reason now, because I was engaged and everything, I started watching Say Yes to the Dress and 4 Weddings a lot. I don't even think they're filming 4 Weddings anymore. It's a bunch of reruns. But I watch these brides sitting there saying, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm so scared. And I'm like, I didn't feel that with you. It was just like, when are we going to do this? I can't wait to walk down the aisle. And I remember when I stepped out and I started walking down the aisle, I had this overwhelming need to just laugh because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is finally happening. I was so excited, and I didn't have any element of fear or panic. And I know people get cold feet all the time, but I didn't have that with you. And that's like, this is what it's supposed to feel like. So that was such a difference. And I'm glad I didn't call it the wedding baby. Mwah, you're so sweet and so cute. Love you so good. All right.
Well, I felt the same way. I never once had a doubt about what we were going to do. The wedding day was a lot different than
Were you scared at all,
I
nervous?
remembered it before. Yeah, I was nervous, but it was a good nervous. It was a nervous, not that I was doing something that I didn't want to do. It was just nervous, like I wanted to get it done. I wanted to get married.
Wasn't even nervous.
I was ready to get married.
I truly wish I could live that moment over and over again walking down the aisle. That was so fun. It was just fun.
Everything was fun. But yeah, if you're engaged and you have doubts, man, you need to take some time.
It's embarrassing, but...
Take some time and think about it. Break it off if you have to, but never get married if you're not 100% sure about what you're doing.
And then Anna Farris's 4th tip for a successful relationship is to definitely go on a honeymoon right after the wedding. Don't wait. Don't put it off, because it's like the post-Christmas feeling. You need to have something to look forward to. And that's the reason Alan and I got married when we did, because when we were talking about getting engaged, when this was just in the talking stages, we were not engaged, I said, well, that was my question to you, wasn't it? Do you want to get married and go on a vacation, or do you want to get married and do it later? He said, go on a honeymoon. He said, I want to get married and go on the honeymoon. I said, well, here's my vacation schedule. And I gave it to him. And that dictated when we could get married.
Yeah. No, I wanted to get married and then the next day leave for a honeymoon.
Because I'll be honest, the first time I got married on a Saturday. I went back to work on a Monday. And it was the most anticlimactic experience to go on the honeymoon over Christmas break, because it was like just going on a vacation. Then it wasn't. It was a vacation. It was not a honeymoon. Night and day difference. So absolutely, that's a good one. When you get married, try to work it out where you can go on a honeymoon if you can afford to go on one. A lot of people can't even afford to go on a honeymoon, and I get that. But I'm just saying, to go on a vacation later and try to call it a honeymoon didn't feel like a honeymoon at all. All right, number 5. And this is an interesting one, because you know how people always say, never go to bed angry. That's what everybody's piece of marital advice. Don't go to bed angry. Well, Anna Farris said it's okay to go to bed angry. She said, I think men in particular sometimes just need time, and they just need it, and they won't be able to be rational. And women too. I don't mean to gender stereotype, but they won't be able to think rationally until their anger has dissipated.
Yeah, I hear what she's saying, and I do agree with men sometimes need space and time.
That's why you have your mini man room.
Mini man room. A little space and time to kind of cool down. You know, again, there are a lot of gender stereotypes going on here. But
she said women too.
Yeah, but I don't know that I agree that when two people are angry, you should just put it off until later and figure things out later.
Well, what's wrong with a cooling off period? And maybe that cooling off period is why you sleep.
Yeah, that's okay. But, if you go to sleep angry, you're probably going to wake up angry. It's still unresolved.
Yeah, but even like when I was battling like my deepest, darkest depressions and things, and at night it always seemed worse. And the next day it always felt better. And everything always seems better in the morning. So maybe if you wake up, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Waking up the next day, it always feels like, a new beginning, a new possibility, a new chance to make it right.
Yeah. I don't like going to bed angry, personally.
Have we gone to bed angry?
No, I don't think we have.
We've gone to bed full a lot.
Oh, we go to bed full all the time.
Man, and that really is, that's not, we've been like little piggies lately.
We've just passed out.
We've literally.
But I don't think we've gone to bed angry.
I've literally lied down and lied. What did I not flinch at?
That we've both gone to bed just because we passed out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Oh.
I've literally I don't even remember my head hitting the pillow to even kiss you and tell you goodnight because I'm so tired and so full. What is wrong with me?
Yeah.
We're in this honeymoon phase.
We're eating a lot.
You're eating a lot.
We're very comfortable.
I'm 7 pounds up from the wedding.
Yeah, babe, but you were
I really starved myself.
For the wedding.
Yeah, I counted calories, but then because my wedding dress was so tight, the last 3 or 4 days before the wedding, I barely ate anything, and I dropped 2 or 3 more pounds really quickly. So that all came back the day after the wedding. But I'm up 7 pounds since the wedding. I got that under control.
Oh, I'm sorry, babe. So I was just going to say, I think the going to bed angry thing really depends on the relationship.
It's okay to go to bed full, but don't go to bed angry.
Yeah, preferably don't go to bed angry. You want to wake up happy and wake up in a good place with your partner, I think.
Don't go to bed full because then you don't do the loving stuff. And you know how important it is to have a sandwich and some loving. But if you have too much sandwich, you don't get no loving because everybody's too full. That's really true.
And then if you get a lot of loving, you get real hungry and want that sandwich.
Yeah. It's a vicious circle.
Is it a vicious circle or a vicious cycle?
I don't know. I've always wondered about that too. That's funny. And another thing I want to talk about, because you were in your mini man cave last night, and I didn't really invest a lot of time in The Bachelorette this season. But I did watch.
I invested less.
You invested less than I did. But about the last 3 episodes I watched. And the first time I watched it, I'm like, Peter's the right choice. If Rachel should pick Peter. It's absolutely the right choice. And Caroline Craddock said, no, it's going to be Brian. Now, I don't know if she sneaked off and read realitysteve.com or if she really did have this vibe, because there's just something about the nature of the beast that is the Bachelor and the Bachelorette. They're going to pick the wrong one. And she picked the cheesy, smarmy, always says the right thing, slick thing, the real big mommy issues, only child, over Peter, who was rational, who was saying, I don't want to propose to you. I just fell in love with you yesterday. Why do you demand a proposal? But Rachel, if you're telling me you're going to break up with me unless I propose to you, I'm going to propose to you. Oh, no, don't propose to me now because I want you to want to do it. Don't do it because I want you to. Do it because you want to do it. It was so frustrating. And here's what's getting me now, people. In the after interviews, because now she has to let Brian think, oh, you're my king, and I didn't really tell this other guy I loved him when I would have chosen him over you if he'd have asked me, which is absolutely how it would have gone down. She's now twisting it, Alan. She is saying that Peter was manipulative, and she's saying that she doesn't believe he should be the next Bachelor. She picked some guy I've never even heard of, Alex or something. I don't know who that is. I'm so upset and disappointed.
The guy from Miami?
I don't know. No, she picked Brian from Miami. Peter's the one from Wisconsin or something.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
With the gap tooth and who's perfect. But she's like, he should not be the Bachelor. And she's trying to sabotage his chances of being the Bachelor, and she's calling him manipulative. I'm so mad I can't even talk about it right now.
Wow. I don't even know where to start with this, but it's like she almost gave Peter the ultimatum.
She gave Peter an ultimatum. If you don't propose to me, I'm ending it. He's like, well, then I'll propose to you because that goes against what I believe. He's saying, when I get engaged, I want to plan a marriage. I don't want to get engaged and then get to know you. What's the rush? She's like, no, I need a ring. He's like, okay, well, then I'll give it to you. No, I don't want it. If you don't want to, if you have to want to give it to me, not just I'm telling you to give it to me. That's why women are so confusing to men, I think.
When it comes to rings and proposals and engagements, can you give me an example of where the ultimatum has ever worked?
I can. I've known people that have done the ultimatum, and it was not a pretty proposal, but they still end up married. Sometimes a man does need a nudge, but not after
a nudge and
8
an ultimatum
weeks on
are
a reality,
two different things.
on a reality TV show when she's making out with 20 other guys and professing her love for other men.
Yeah.
That's a different beast. But I think sometimes in real life, a man does need a nudge.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, in our situation,
I didn't need a nudge.
You didn't need a nudge.
I had a plan cooking before you even knew what was going on.
But I didn't know that. And so there were a couple of times where we had to have some serious discussions because...
I had it under control.
You did. But I had already... To me. You're pointing at me, but we're on the podcast. People can't see that.
Sorry. Is this radio?
Yeah, this is podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry,
this is...
I'm still an amateur. I'm an
considered
amateur.
Radio. So, no, there was... Because I had given you my vacation schedule, and I was like, either he's going to propose now so I can get married in July, or he's going to propose later, and I'll have to get married at Christmas break. And I was trying to explain to Alan, because here it was February, and I knew my vacation was coming up July. I was trying to say, is this going to happen? Because a girl needs a minute to be engaged.
You had 5 months?
I had less than 5 months, and it takes a little... Okay, plenty of time for you because you weren't involved in all the wedding planning.
Oh,
and that's what I'm saying. And
there's
a girl...
There's a shot across the bow.
You did a little bit.
I wasn't involved with the wedding planning?
but not nearly as much. It's the girls' thing. That's the girls' arena.
Wait a minute. Just a second ago, you said I wasn't involved with the wedding planning.
As much as I am.
Okay, so you've revised your statement to say I wasn't involved. So I was involved with the wedding planning. Okay.
Not as much as I was. But I was trying to say a girl needs a minute to be engaged.
Yes, I know.
Because the fun part is being engaged and having everybody excited for you and giving you showers and looking at your ring and stuff. And I had less than 5 months to plan a wedding, and it got a little panicky. And so in the parking lot, we had, after dinner at a lovely Mexican establishment, I had a little mini meltdown. Because I'm like, are you doing this or not?
It was a grown woman almost throwing a fit in the parking lot. We stood there, and she almost threw a fit about her... It wasn't a fit, though. It was a mini fit about her vacation schedule and...
How I need to know so I can have an engagement.
And that phrase, a woman needs to be engaged for a little while, that was used. That was also used. Yeah, that was used a few times. I was very involved with wedding planning.
I know, and the thing I loved about your proposal is it was a complete surprise because you played so stone-faced that it made me madder. At the time. But then it finally, after you saw how upset I was getting, you hugged me and said, I love you, and I'm going to, I forget the exact verbiage, but it was something, I'm going to do right.
Yeah,
and you did do right, baby. It was a perfect proposal. Which you can see all the pictures of at kellieandallen.com.
Was it
windy?
windy?
Marketing, honey.
Yeah, you're doing a good job, babe. Was it windy?
Oh my gosh, that was so ludicrous.
That was funny. I saw the clips of that.
Yes. As Brian was saying...
Sorry, I switched gears.
That's okay.
Back to Bachelorette.
During the ridiculous live 3-hour show with Chris Harrison interviewing Rachel the whole time, which was ludicrous. They've never done that before. Brian said, I thought when they told me they were postponing me coming out to film because of the weather, that it's because she was dumping Peter. Well, literally know that Peter had already ended things and he was the only choice at that point. Blah. He was the consolation prize. He was her, what? What do you call that?
Sloppy seconds?
Sloppy seconds, maybe, whatever. But anyway, the wind was so absurd. It was ridiculous. It was distracting. I was so mesmerized.
Like
they were at a castle in Spain. They were on a mountaintop in Spain. And it was, and I was sitting there mesmerized so much by the fact that her eyelashes, I was waiting for one of them to fly off because the wind was whipping around, that they got the audio to work as clearly as they did. I was so mesmerized by the technical standpoint of that, that I missed the engagement part. And it's like, why didn't they just do it inside? Just put some lights inside the castle and get out of the wind. It was so ridiculous they did it that way. But I love people on Twitter saying the wind was telling you not to say yes. But the first thing she did when he got down on his knee, show me the ring. show me the ring. And in every interview I've seen of her, and maybe I'm wrong because I haven't kept up with a lot of bachelors and bachelorettes after the fact. Every interview, all she does is holds up that hand.
Wow.
Look at this. This is what I got, because that's all she cared about was the ring. And I'll be very shocked if they go the distance. And if they do go the distance to get married, it's only because she's so stubborn and she doesn't want to be proven wrong. Because Peter was the one.
This has got you really worked up.
Not as worked up as Anna Farris and Chris Pratt, which I'm praying for them. I'm not praying for, I'm just going to be honest. I don't have enough time to pray for everybody or the desire to pray for everybody. So I'm praying for Chris Pratt and Anna Farris. I'm not praying for Rachel and Brian. I'm just not going to do it.
Well, I don't know what else to say about the Bachelorette other than I was in the mini man room watching the news, very quietly watching the news, and I just heard all this, oh, and no, and oh. I could hear that all the way into the mini man room, and man, Kelly was getting worked up.
I was
and
very.
Now I know why.
Well, because Rachel, I thought she had a good head on her shoulders. And then she just completely turned into an immature girl and a brat on TV. And when she was going at Peter and said, he said something, and he was right. You're going to go live a life of mediocrity. Go do that. You could be, and I don't have any problem with what he said. It was the heat of the moment stuff. And she's like, I'm living my best life, and rolled her eyes and snapped her fingers and worked her head. I'm like, what did you just do? And I think a lot of people.
That happened, really?
Oh, honey.
Wow.
And I think that was the moment that it turned. And then Peter said, I feel like I'm being bullied, or whatever word he said. She's like, when do you think you were being bullied? What exactly? He just shut down and didn't say anything because he's a gentleman. And he didn't, and I think he still has a lot of genuine feelings for her. And now he's even doing interviews saying, she made the right choice. She made the right choice. He's just bowing out gracefully, and I think he wants to get back to his real life. He's not going to be a media whore like some of these other people.
Whoa.
And I'll tell you another thing that bothered me last night is the editors and everybody. I know Juan Pablo wasn't the brightest person in the world.
He wasn't the sharpest knife in the
He
drawer.
wasn't. But last night, why even, if you have spent nothing, all they've done is vilify Juan Pablo, who was this poor little guy in the background. They decided to make him he barely spoke.
Wasn't that 4 years ago?
I'm telling you though, he barely spoke when he was one of the contestants, and they made him the Bachelor because he had an accent. He was good looking.
What was that thing he said all the time?
It's okay. Yeah. And then they announced his engagement last night, and everybody's like, clap, clap, clap. Why'd you even do that? That's just like, so I'm telling you, the people in the Bachelor and the Bachelorette franchise are petty. They are manipulative. Chris Harrison is a liar.
Whoa.
He is. He came on our show one time and he flat out lied, and I'll never forget
About
it.
what?
I don't remember. I remember he lied about
Well,
it.
then how did you know he lied?
Because he did.
About what?
I don't remember, but it was a lie. I get very worked up. That's why I can't watch The Bachelor and Bachelorette. You have nothing to say?
Yeah, well, I'm just letting you rant. You just
sorry.
Keep
I
going.
get so worked up,
Keep
honey.
going.
I get so worked up. I'm sorry. This is a side of me you probably have never seen before.
Oh, I've seen it. But, yeah, I don't get as worked up about it, babe. I just think it's kind of silly. The whole thing is silly, and I just hope those people's lives work out the way they want them to work out. I mean,
I want everybody to be happy, but I just don't.
Too.
I want girls to start making foolish decisions. I don't want you to be so worried about getting engaged that you get engaged to the wrong person. You know?
Right.
And we all make mistakes, and we all have to learn from them. And no matter how much you could have told me and my 20-something-year-old self I was going to do what I was going to do, and I had to learn a lot of lessons the hard way. But, you know, I would, oh gosh, I just don't, if my daughter ever comes to me and says she is auditioning for The Bachelor or Bachelorette, I'm going to be devastated.
But you know what? Say what you want to about that show. It's been on how many seasons?
I know, it's a lot.
People love it.
I
There
know.
are parties. What are we doing? We're talking about it.
But I'm not going to watch Bachelor in Paradise. I'll tell you that. I've never watched that.
People on social media are talking about it. It's going exactly like they want it to go.
I know, but I don't watch Bachelor in Paradise. That's just too sleazy and gross. I don't watch that one.
What channel is that on?
It's on ABC.
What time?
I don't know. It starts next week, I think. I think it's the same night as The Bachelor and
I'm just
Bachelorette
kidding.
run.
I don't want to watch it.
It's gross. I'm not watching that. So anyway, I think that's enough because it's really late now, and I've got to get to bed. And this has been I feel better. I feel like I have purged my soul.
This has been a different podcast. This one has been different. This one
In a good way?
Yeah, it's been fun.
Well, you didn't have to work as much. I brought all the content.
You brought some good content this time. And this is your wheelhouse, babe. You know all about The Bachelor and this relationship stuff. You were the love expert. I could just chime in here or there, but yeah, Anna Farris's tips, I think they're all pretty good tips.
They're good.
Some I agree with, some I don't.
I hope they work it out. Honestly, I hope they can work it out.
I do too, especially because there's a child involved. And all kidding aside, one thing that I read about my favorite rock band, Metallica. Now, I'm not saying Metallica should be the model of relationships or relationship building or advice, but I have read, all the guys in Metallica have gone through their own relationship problems. I think they've all been divorced. I don't know that for sure, but I think
maybe
several of the band members
now they're older.
Were married before, they had children, they're divorced, now they're remarried or they're with somebody else. But you know what they do? I read that the band demands that they only play for 2 weeks at a time on their latest tour, and then they take 2 weeks off. And they do that 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, so they can deliberately have time back with their family.
Well, that's good. And that comes, with they're all older.
A little more wisdom, I guess.
But, and they're let's just be honest, they're tired.
Yeah, they're tired and older.
And they've made all their money, and they've slept with everybody they want to sleep with, and now they just want to. That's the thing. It's like, can a player ever, be reformed? Is that the word?
But I don't know. Is Chris?
When they get old enough,
has it been reported that Chris Pratt was a player? But
no.
What I've heard is he was working a lot.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, as far as I'm talking about Metallica.
Yeah, I know. But his work, Chris Pratt's work, took priority over perhaps his relationship.
Well, his career, yeah. I mean, it's hard to say what fame and money and the responsibilities that come with that. I mean, it's so easy for us to judge. Look at me being all judgy of Rachel and Brian.
Yeah, I'm not trying to judge the guy. I'm just saying that if you're halfway across the world working for a month, it's going to be hard for you to have a close, connected relationship with your spouse.
I know.
That's whether you're Chris Pratt or anybody else.
That's why Alan and I work together. That's why we started this podcast, to save our marriage.
Yes. Some people said it would be our demise, actually.
It might. You never know.
It still may be. I may hit you over the head with one of these fuzzy microphones one time.
So far, so good, though, baby.
Yeah, so far, so good. It's fun.
It's fun.
Hey, it's fun.
All right, so we're going to end it. We're going to end it there. That was another episode of A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully, I don't know how you could stumble across it otherwise, but you can download it and then subscribe on iTunes or Google Play, and then you get like a fresh new episode every Thursday. And
can I throw in another tip? We have a website. It's kellieandallen.com, KELLIE and Allen, ALLEN.com. And on that website, I put a link to the podcast. So you can just click on podcast or listen to podcast. And right there on the website, you can subscribe and listen. So that's another way you can listen. And and
you started a Facebook page, which is really fun. We want to get a lot of likes on that. Yeah. And there's a place you can email us if you have any questions or like stuff you want us to cover on the podcast, because we're looking for ideas and stuff too.
Yeah, and on the Facebook, and we also have an Instagram now, an Instagram channel. You call it a channel? Instagram account for A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. So go check that out. And we try to post things there that are things that we wouldn't post on our normal social media. It's not just a copy of Kellie's social media,
right.
My social media.
It's different.
There's different stuff that has to do with kind of what we talk about.
And I don't have any access to it. You do all the posting on that.
Yeah, well, it's easy for me to make you a manager.
You need to tell me the password.
Yeah.
I don't even know it.
It's password. I'm just kidding. You can go try it, but it's not password.
But we're going to have some fun stuff coming up on future episodes because, we've been combining. I wrapped up the podcast and I'm still talking, so here we go. But we've still been working on getting the house in order, and to keep coming across stuff that I'm like, I've got to get rid of this stuff, including the hat that you hate. I promised I would. And so I'm like, well, I'd rather, if I'm just going to give this stuff to charity or whatever, I'd rather give it to listeners who can actually use it and enjoy it. So we might be, doing some giveaways of stuff in future podcasts. Can I tell them about the wedding dress?
You can tell them whatever you want. This is our podcast.
Because
tell them whatever you want.
Well, I'm not doing anything about it right now. and maybe somebody can give me some ideas.
Are you talking about like
the old
future ideas for the
future
website?
ideas?
Oh yeah, sure. Oh.
Because we're coming across all this stuff, and when you get married, you have your wedding dress wrapped up and preserved and stuff, and now I've got two. The one from my first marriage and one from this one, and I'm like, I can't keep holding on to two, right? So I don't know what to do with that first one, and I don't know what to do. It's like, should I try to find a bride that really is struggling and doesn't have a gown, but then she has to fit into the same dress? It's like all these things. I mean, just giving away a wedding dress isn't that simple. There's that, and then we have what other stuff we could do. Well, you gave away your guitar already.
Yeah, I gave away the guitar.
Which was fun. And you could see that on Instagram. You posted a picture. Is that on the Sandwich and Some Love on Instagram?
Oh, we were going to... how are we doing on time? Oh, man.
Well, we can talk forever.
We're at 40 minutes.
It doesn't matter.
No, we wanted to follow up on that episode where we talked about giving that guitar away.
And we didn't do it?
And we never followed up on that.
Should we do it the next podcast or go ahead and tell it now?
Well, we don't want to tease it and then...
Okay, tell it.
Leave it to the next one, do we?
Tell it. And
this is called producing on the fly.
Yeah, we're not professionals. We don't claim to be.
No, so, yeah, we had an extra guitar. It was my extra guitar because I bought a new guitar with the money that I made for drawing people tattoos. Okay, so I paid cash for this brand new guitar that I've always wanted. So I had an extra, and I had this guitar for 20 years. And the day that Kelly and I were talking about getting rid of this guitar, giving it to Goodwill or to a friend or whatever, one of our podcast listeners messaged me, just coincidentally that same day, and asked me, hey, I don't know much about guitars. Can you give me some advice? I want to give one to a friend because she's having some medical problems and she loves music. And I said, well, how about that? I have a deal for you. Would it be okay if I just gave you my
extra
guitar that I have, and I can meet you at a Starbucks, and I can give it to you. I don't mind at all. And since you're a fan of the Kid Craddock Morning Show and your friend is too, we'll have Kelly sign it. And that's exactly what happened. So I met her. Monica was the gal who contacted me, and her friend. At a Starbucks, and I gave him that guitar there in person. I took Cole up there with me. It was right after his baseball practice, swung by Starbucks, met the two gals there, gave them the guitars, snapped a picture, and we put it online. So go check that out. Yeah, and Kelly signed it. And
she asked us to, because I was like, I don't want to sign anything because some people don't like signed stuff, but she wanted us to sign it. So
anyhow, random story there at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, so maybe there's some other fun stuff we can give away, not just our stuff. I mean, we might, maybe we'll have some. Eventually, as the podcast grows, we'll have some other prizes and stuff to give away. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
We'll look into it. We're always looking for ideas.
But we need lots of followers and listeners to be able to do that kind of stuff, right?
Right. So follow us, like us.
Tell your friends. Tell your family.
Yes, we need you. And this is begging at this point. I'm not being above that.
We're groveling.
Yeah. So it's a Sandwich and Some Lovin'. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been fun because we've been doing this one on Facebook Live. And so that'll be posted. Should I post it or not save it on Facebook?
Well, here's the thing. If you post it, then our podcast is live before the podcast comes out.
Okay, so I'm not going to save it.
But you can.
Everyone that's here now, and they're dwindling because they've lost interest because I can see the numbers going down.
Yeah.
It's late. We got to get to bed.
It is late.
We're not going to save it. So this has been a nice little treat letting y'all watch us record a Sandwich and Some Lovin'. So thank you for joining us on Facebook Live. Thank you to everybody listening for the first time on the podcast of A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. We'll be back next week with another fresh episode.
And in the immortal words of the great Keanu Reeves, life is good when you have a good sandwich.
Yeah. Good night. Or good morning whenever you're listening to this. All right, I'm turning it off. That's the end. And that's how we do it. Yeah, some of you, the numbers are dwindling because we were, let's see, good night. Good night. Everybody's so sweet. Thank y'all for hanging in. Thank you, Morgan.
Hey, do any of you know on the Facebook Live why they're not wearing their rings?
I'm wearing mine.
Oh. The guy in the back. Does anybody know why he's not wearing his ring?
Is somebody still asking that?
Oh, I don't know. I've seen it a few times.
Oh. Alan was reading comments while we were doing the podcast, which makes it hard to pay attention. But yeah, he takes his off when he gets home. That doesn't bother me. He puts it on when he leaves the next day. Hey, Grayson. Cousin Grayson's on, honey.
Cousin Grayson. There she is.
Thanks, Angie White Trichet. Is it Trichet? And Courtney Andrews Alban. You didn't meet her, honey. She's my other cousin.
Oh, okay.
Michael, y'all should continue to do Facebook Live broadcasts. Well, not tonight. I'm getting ready to go to bed. It's been a long day. Even though I took a nap, I'm still tired.
I'm bushed.
Alan's always bushed.
I'm not always bushed.
He's always bushed. The first words that come out of his mouth when he wakes up every morning is, I'm bushed.
It's not good.
It's the truth, though, isn't it? Thank you. My ring is, I'll be like Rachel. Look at my ring. I'm so aggravated with her, the way she's acting. Anybody else want to say anything before we go to bed? We appreciate y'all hanging out. Thank you.
There you go, Jamie Joe
Trish,
Westfall.
it's pronounced Trish.
Prize for you. That's exactly right. I like to be comfy at home.
All right. Hey, Scylla's joining and we're getting ready to turn it off.
Well,
Hey, Scylla.
Scylla, we're done.
We need to go out with you and Al.
My man. Oh, different Al.
Oh, no, not
No, I know.
not-
I know.
All right, baby. We got to go.
Okay. Bye, y'all.
Do y'all like the Facebook Live?
No, I think they do.
Okay. I admire you guys. My wedding is September 30th. After 8 years together, I'm terrified. Why are you terrified? Don't be terrified.
Yeah, don't be terrified. If you're terrified...
That's not a good sign if you're terrified.
It's not good.
You need to listen to your gut on that one. Aw, Scylla, I'm sorry, honey. You just missed an amazing podcast recording. But we're not saving it, so you have to go to iTunes or Google Play and subscribe to A Sandwich and Some Lovin', or you can go to kellyanddallin.com/podcast, and that'll tell you how to go there. Subscribe and get a new episode every Thursday morning, roughly around 10 a.m. Central. Okay? Good night. Good night, baby. Did you just deuce out?
I just said deuce. I'm out.
Bye.